activity absorbs that new build that has been ordered in the past 2 or 3 months.
Okay, that's interesting. And like now moving to the wellhead equipment protection and well testing services specifically, do you have a sense of who the main players are in this space, specifically in the Permian or the Eagle Ford basins?
I mean, there are many players. I mean, the usual culprits are, the Weatherford, the Halliburton, Schlumberger with their Canada division. I mean, these are kind of the big ones. But you also have players like Cactus, for instance, that just IPO'd 6 months. They're successfully IPO'd about 6 or 7 months ago. You have companies like Patterson, companies like Weir. I mean, there is several players really on this front. Now, let me ask you, are you more referring to companies that are manufacturing these wellheads or companies that are involved in the rental testing space?
Both. So companies that manufacture and then rent out the equipment.
Yeah, because there is a bunch of companies that manufacture but are not, necessarily involved in the rental, in the testing. They don't, what we call really commonly, they don't provide boots on the ground, right? So they would, like Weir, for instance, of Patterson, they manufacture pretty good wellhead equipment, but then you just buy them from them and they move on. They don't provide the service. Now, companies like Cactus, for instance, they manufacture their own wellheads, but they also do the rental, do a lot of service for the E&P, for the others, for the larger service companies. And then you have the large, the Schlumberger of the world, the Baker, Weatherford, that are involved in all the fronts. So manufacturing and rental, and they do bundling with their own other services, so they can entice customers to, to buy their products by offering additional services on top of the wellhead equipment and services.
Okay. And regarding the equipment per se, I guess 2 questions. Is there much differentiation between the equipment provided by the players you mentioned or any other player in terms of, are they different at all, will be the first question. And the second is the equipment necessary for unconventional drilling different than what you would need for conventional drilling?
No, they're not that different. Today, so really today, 90% of the activity happening today is unconventional. So that is the Permian and so on. There is about 10% of conventional sand, very little, right? But what is really driving the growth in production and the growth in activity is the unconventional business. And all the Permian is unconventional. 100% of the Permian is unconventional. You have to go to very old, mature fields outside of Texas and New Mexico, to find any kind of conventional applications. So really, it's mainly unconventional driving the business, and most of these wellheads, work for both unconventional and conventional, because the well profile is the same for both of these well types. Now, what really changes is the formation, unconventional or the geology. The unconventional extracts oil from shale, and the conventional extracts oil from sand. So that's pretty much the main difference between both of them. But they are, in terms of services and wellhead requirement, it's pretty much the same.
Okay. The context for the question is that we had been told basically that some equipment, that companies were now demanding more advanced isolation tools or casing savers that were better equipped to handle the high pressures